Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Tundramission. I had mentioned before that we're going to have a 1999 Jeep TJ on the channel because my mother recently bought one and she's going to redo it. I'm going to do some of the work, somebody else is going to do some of the work, but we're going to take a look at it. It's sitting out here in the driveway. Thought best to look at it while it's out here in the light. And you guys can see it's actually in really good shape. I mean, it is 24 years old, so there are some imperfections and things in the paint, of course. And it does have a few aftermarket things on it. You can see they put an aftermarket bumper on the back. It's got LED reverse lights in it, a couple of stickers, some D-rings. Love the wheel and tire setup on this. General grabbers, all-terrains, 30-inch. Love it. They're actually a 30, let's get this right, a 30 by 9.5 R15 LT. And we do think there's a lift on it. If you look in the front, you can maybe see a spacer in here. We think that's a spacer, but I'm not positive. If anybody knows for sure out there, any TJ aficionados, I'd love to know if that's a block or if that's the way that it came. And then we have some rough country shocks on it as well. Now, looking at the engine, doesn't look too bad. Obviously, they've probably cleaned it up a little bit, but they didn't really redo anything. On the front, we've got, obviously, an aftermarket bumper, aftermarket lights. We're going to replace these. She wants the stock lights on here, so these are going to go. Full disclosure, it was an auction vehicle and it was in an accident. The dealership, the used car dealer, had told us that the damage was supposedly over here on this side. This has been repainted. Matter of fact, the whole front end as well as probably the hood have been repainted. I don't know if you guys can tell out here in the light, but it's definitely a different color between the fenders and the rest of the body back here. A few things to clean up. They had some sticker here or something. Let's check in the back. The only rust we found on this really is right here and on the other side in the same space. The tub and everything on it, the under part if you will, looks really good. The top is not too bad. The doors could use a little bit of work. We're going to replace a lot of the covers that are on here. These are faded out. 24 years old, you would expect that, right? Let's see if we're unlocked here. There is no rear seat. It did not come with a rear seat. And she does not want a rear seat. So we're going to put new carpeting in there. All of this will go. This is just that kind of cheapo stuff that you can get at Lowe's or anywhere. It does look like they put some adhesive on here, and of course that stuck to the floor, so that's going to need to be cleaned off before the new stuff goes in. A little bit of sand in here, I think, so this has seen the beach at some point. Got to take those brackets off for the seats too. They're going to go. As I mentioned, the top is really in pretty good shape. Now let's take a quick look on the inside. You can see in here, the front still is going to need some more carpet and stuff. We are going to replace the seats. You can see that one is really torn up pretty bad. But what I like about this is it doesn't seem to have had a lot of traffic over here in the passenger side, because the passenger side seat, again, for 24 years old, looks pretty good. There's no real tears. You do have some wear here in the seat, but nothing like you do from somebody scraping in and out over on that other side. Now, another thing that has to be replaced, and we're going to go ahead and do both, are the visors. This one is missing. Don't know how that happened. Somebody just ripped it off, I suppose. And then a grab handle like that one used to be over here, and that was aftermarket, I'm sure, but it had actually rotted. And when I grabbed it and went up there, it actually broke and pulled right off. Door cards look good. Dash and everything looks good. Nothing chunked out of it or any big imperfections. It's just aged, faded a little bit. That I think can be cleaned up some. Center console looks pretty good as well. It's a little bit loose, a little bit loosey-goosey here, So obviously once the carpet is put back in, and that will cover everything up, that'll be tightened down. It is a 5-speed manual, and I was a little surprised that she wanted a 5-speed manual, but she does know how to drive a manual transmission and grew up driving a manual transmission, I think, so no big deal for her, and it's fun to drive. Let's go back over here to this side. I don't know what they did with the steering wheel. It had a cover on it when we got it, and we knew that there was probably a reason, and there was. This kind of looks like it's broken. I don't know if it's actually broken or the covering over the metal tubing, if you will, was just chipped away and worn down over time, probably from somebody sitting here riding dirty like this, you know. I don't know. Gauge cluster looks good, needs to be cleaned up a little bit. And then this cowling here, I think we're going to look at replacing as well. It should just pull right off. And then the vent over here, the center part for the adjustment is broken. We've got a new one of these coming too. Everything else in it looks pretty good. The windshield down here in chip-prone South Texas does have a chip over there on the front. It's very small, but that needs to be corrected. Everything works. We haven't come across anything that's wrong with it yet, other than there is a check engine light that's on, and they're looking to see if they can fix that. They've already replaced some sensors and things. So far, no luck in doing that. I'll have to let you guys know what the resolution is. It seems to me from looking on the forums that that's a big problem, that a lot of them have that check engine light issue, and the fuel gauge does not work. Those two things need to be sorted. Other than that, there's really nothing else wrong. Oh, and one other thing I want to mention, it does have an aftermarket radio in it. That is, of course, not stock. It does work. They put some new speakers up there in the speaker bar, I guess you call that, or sound bar. Sounds pretty good. It's got a pretty good radio in it. Anyway, that's what we've got here so far. That's what it looks like. Oh, and we do need to replace the little rope that holds the gas cap in. Very simple and very cheap. And one thing I found from ordering some parts for this already, very inexpensive it seems to get parts for this thing, and they are readily available out there. That makes it really nice. Anyway, that's just the introduction of the 1999 Jeep Wrangler TJ. If you're interested in this, leave a comment down below. Let me know. Do you want to see the transformation of this Jeep? Going to be doing lots of stuff to it. There will be lots of things on the channel. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.